Hello, everybody. Um, I wanted to make a quick video to talk about what I'm going to ask you to do over the next 2 days rather than type it all out and have you read it. So this should be pretty short. Um, After you watch this, you'll know what the plan is kind of leading out through the rest of the semester. So we've been talking about statistics, and rather than have you just crunch through a bunch of book problems like I've done in other classes, I thought it'd be cool if we did an actual statistical study of our own. So we're going to actually collect some data and then use some of the stuff we've been talking about to analyze that data. We're also going to continue talking about a little bit more that we can do with statistics, and we'll apply that as well for as much time as we have left in the rest of the year. So tomorrow, you're going to have a Google form on the Weebly page. So if you go to the Weebly website and scroll down to Friday, you will see a link to a Google form. On that Google form, I'm going to have everybody fill it out. It should take you like 2 minutes to fill this out, and that's all you have to do for Friday and the weekend. What we're going to do is we're going to look at individual screen time used on phones to determine whether or not boys or girls use their phones more. I know what the results were last year, so it'll be really interesting to see what the results are this year, especially given the situation that we're in. So I've attached a link in the description of this video on YouTube. So if you go to the video description, you'll be able to see that link. It'll explain how to find your screen time on an iPhone if you don't already know. I will also link it on the Weebly site where you clicked the link for this video. If you have an iPhone, just click on that link. It'll walk you through it and just write down the screen time. What we're looking for is average screen time per day. And I believe it shows you an average over the last 7 days. And I want to use that to give it a little bit more accurate reading, not just what it is today. So find the average screen time per day for the last 7 days. You can use the average for the entire life of the phone if that's an option. I don't have an iPhone, so I'm not sure. But the average screen time per day, at least over the last 7 days. If you do not have an iPhone, it's kind of tricky. From what I can find, Samsung phones do not have a built-in screen time recorder. If you have a separate app that tracks that and you want to jump in with that data, that's excellent. If you don't have an iPhone and you don't have screen time already recorded, what I'm going to ask you to do is just text a friend or two that does have an iPhone and ask them for theirs. It doesn't matter who you ask. Hopefully it'd be a high school student. It could be either school. It could be Helena High. It doesn't matter. But the Google form is going to ask for just a few things. It's going to ask for the person's name, the person's gender, and the average screen time per day. That way we can have enough information to do what we need to do. I will remove the names from the data before I send it out to you so that there's no bias involved, but that way we can kind of keep track, and that way I won't use the same person more than once, because if everybody's reaching out to their friends, we might get the same person asked multiple times and we don't want duplicate data. So if you have an iPhone, I'm going to ask you to fill the form out, and then I would like everybody to ask 2 friends for their screen time. Okay. If you don't have an iPhone, I'm going to ask you to ask 3 friends for their screen time. That should give us a pretty large data set that we can use to do our analysis. So today, all you need to do is watch this video, maybe practice finding your screen time. You're going to find a lot of other information there that I think you'll maybe be amazed and or disgusted by how often you use your phone. Tomorrow, and you can go do it now, the link will be up now, but if you want it by tomorrow and through the weekend, your only homework is to fill out that Google form. I'd like you to do it Friday, so I'm going to put it due midnight on Friday. That way I can get it all organized over the weekend. But to fill out that Google form for yourself and 2 friends. If you don't have an iPhone, it's going to be just for 3 friends. Again, you're going to need person's name, person's gender, and the number of, or the amount of time they spend on their phone. I'm going to ask you to turn it into minutes. So if you'll multiply the number of hours they're on their phone by 60 and then add the extra, if they're on the phone for 7 hours and 35 minutes, it'd be 7 times 60 for 420 minutes plus the 5 minutes that they're on, 425 minutes. So put it in just as minutes. That'll really help me a lot. Yeah, and then fill that out for those 3 people and you're done for the weekend. Then come Monday, we will talk a little bit more about this data and what it is that we're going to do with it. I hope you're all doing well, and I look forward to being able to see you again soon. Thanks.